Alright, this is just a little tutorial about how to set up graphs using your Excel data that you've imported from Logger Pro. So let's go ahead and get started. You want three graphs. You want a y versus time graph, which is vertical displacement. You want a vertical velocity versus time graph, and an acceleration versus time graph. This column here, I'll show you how I got that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get our first graph, and we're going to insert a graph is essentially what we're going to insert that into this particular sheet. So click on the A column and then control click on the C column, which in this case is the Y. Insert, scatter, and there's our scatter plot. Okay. Now what we want to do is put a title on it. We want to move our put a labels on our Y and our X axis. We're going to take and move that X axis down here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get rid of our legend. Click that, delete, gone. Double click right up here. See where that little box is? Now double click on that and this menu opens up. We want to bring those labels down. So here we want to go ahead and take this axis labels and bring it to low, and it moves it down to the bottom. All right. And we're okay there. Close that. Now we want to come to layout, axis titles. Primary is going to be below the axis, and type time, space, open parentheses, seconds, close parentheses, and you're done. Do the same thing for the vertical axis. We want to just use a rotated title, that's fine. And that's going to be vertical displacement, measured in meters. Done. Y, now what we want to do is put our title. Our title is going to be the vertical displacement versus time. So put that in there, and vertical displacement versus time. Okay, there's your graph. Nice. And you can see that it does have some type of a parabolic shape to it. So now we want to put in a trend line. So if you just click on one of the data points and then right click on it, add trend line. We want to add a trend line, in this case a polynomial, to an order of 2. We want to display the equation on the chart. Now I don't like the placement of the equation, so I'm going to take and I'm going to put it up here kind of in the right hand corner. Now these numbers mean something. Remember that. They mean something. Okay? So now what we want to do is I want to take this graph and put it on a separate sheet, a separate worksheet. So down here you've got this insert worksheet. So that's what we're going to do. Click there. It inserts a sheet and calls it sheet 1. Right click, rename, and call this vertical displacement. Go back to your other tab, your first one that says ball drop data. Right click, select the graph, right click, cut, vertical displacement, right click, paste. So now what you've done is you just put it on a separate sheet. That's all that's done. And you can move it up here and make it nice so that when I look at it, it looks nice. Hey, that looks nice. All right, so now it's no longer there. You still have your data in the same place. Okay, let's do the same thing for the Y velocity. Time, control, select, insert, scatter. There it is. We'll do the same thing. Come up here, double click, bring them down to the low, close that, get rid of the legend, layout, axis titles, horizontal, below, time. Seconds, enter. Axis titles, vertical, rotated, vertical velocity, measured in meters per second. Enter. Title, vertical velocity versus time. Enter. Done. Trend line, select, right click, add trend line. This you want to be linear. Display on chart, close, move, up. Done. Add a worksheet. We're going to call this, as a right click, we'll call this vertical velocity. Velocity. Go back to your main page, right click, cut, here, paste, make it a little bit bigger, voila, and off you go. So good luck, and then you'll do the same thing for the acceleration graph. So I'll show you how to get the acceleration in another tutorial. Thank you. Goodbye.